Hi guys, and welcome back to our coffee times, and also happy Easter. So I thought it would be fun this year for Easter to read some books that might be maybe horror but kind of related to Easter. And I started looking for books and it proved to be a lot harder than I anticipated. There is barely any horror book with bunnies or eggs or anything like that. I did find some like horror novellas, but they didn't kind of like captivate me, and I was like, I don't know what to do. But then you guys, I remembered about a book that a lot of people had been recommended me, and I also found other books. So today we are going to read some horror books for Easter.
It's coffee time!
I'm gonna be reading Bunny by Mona Awad because a lot of people recommended me this book and I was a little bit scared to read it because I don't know if it's going to be exactly my cup of tea, but I have also been really curious about it, and there has to be a reason why people have recommended me this book in the past. So I think it's time to get to it. Samantha is new in a very selective program at university, and when she gets there, she realizes that her classes are full of really rich girls that call each other Bunny. But then when the bunnies extend her an invitation to join them, she feels kind of good about herself. You know, she feels like she's gonna make it. She feels like more part of the clique, and she starts to realize that there's something really wrong in this place. It says it blends sharp satire with fairy tale horror, so I don't know what to expect. I'm hoping it's not bizarre in a way that I cannot get into it. I hope that, you know, I do like satire, and satire, irony, those kind of things are, you know, the kind of humor that I really like, more than just cheap jokes. So hopefully this is gonna be for me. So this is one that I'm gonna be reading for this vlog. And listen, the other three, I just thought it would be so cute and so fun to read them. I'm not gonna read the whole series, but there's a bunch of books that you could kind of relate to Easter because they also feature bunnies. And I'm gonna be reading 3 of those books. First of all, we have Bunnicula. I hope that's how you pronounce it. It's basically, of course, Bunny plus Dracula. And it's called A Rabbit Tale of Mystery by Deborah and James Ho. Then I'm also gonna read Bunnicula Strikes Again and Bunnicula Meets Edgar Allan Poe. So I thought these 3 books would be so much fun to read in this vlog, and these are, I think, kids books, so they are really fast-paced. There's other ones in the series that feature cats and dogs, so honestly, if I really enjoy these ones, I might pick up the rest because the covers are so cute. I mean, look at them. Look at this cute bunny. So I'm not expecting this to be like extremely horrific or anything, but I thought these ones would be fun to read together with you guys and let you know what I thought of them. They are very short and they do have a lot of pictures, which I think is really cute. And I haven't read books like this for kids in such a long time, so I am really excited, not gonna lie. Oh, there's also here dogs and cats. Oh, that's so cute. I'm gonna love it. I'm gonna love it. It's probably gonna be short and sweet. And I mean, look at this bunny. Look at it, it's just so cute. So these are my reading plans, you guys, for this Easter vlog. It's basically all about the bunnies. It's bunnies for Easter. So yeah, I'm really excited. I think I'm gonna start reading this because it's the longest book and see what I think of it. I thought I would start today reading Bunny by Mona Awad. So Mona Awad is a Canadian author. Her first published works was a collection of short horror stories, and since then she has kind of verged into the fantasy slash a little bit of horror genre, and I believe this story is supposed to be like the foundation of dark academia for younger generations. So I am kind of intrigued because we all know that dark academia doesn't always work for me. Recently I did read An Education in Malice, and that one was a hit. I gave it 5 coffee mugs. I absolutely loved it. So I'm going into this one now, I guess, more positive. I have a more open mind because I did enjoy that one a lot. So I thought we would start this Easter vlog reading Bunny by Mona Awad and see what the fuss is all about and see if I love it. I know that the author also uses, I think, dark comedy, dark humor, and that can work really well for me. But again, comedy, it doesn't always work, so I'm intrigued. I guess this could be a 50-50 read for me. But I will get to reading a little bit of this today, and I'll get back to you with my first thoughts on the book. I have read now around 80 pages of Bunny by Mona Awad in one go, and so far I'm enjoying it. It is very different from the books that I normally read, which is not a bad thing because I do want to read different things this year and not be so scared of picking up things that are not specifically horrors or thrillers. The first thing that caught my attention when I started reading the book is that these girls call each other Bunny all the time. So it's like, hi Bunny, hi Bunny. And I was like,
Hi Barbie!
Hi Ken! Hi Barbie! Hi Barbie!
Hi Barbie!
so Samantha is new in this university program, which is very hard to get into, but she's very excited about it as well. And from the very beginning, from day one, you see her kind of criticizing the so-called bunnies, which is a group of girls that have a very specific aesthetic and a very specific way of behaving, almost like children, even though they are grown women. And she criticizes them together with her best friend Ava. But then one of the bunnies says hi to her and they all wave to her, and now she feels like she is being almost accepted now into the group. She gets an invitation to join one of their meetings. It's called the Smut Salon, and basically the girls meet at night and they all have to tell a story or read a poetry or something they wrote that is kind of like a hot, steamy story, and they put Samantha on the spot and she has to come up with a story, and it all felt very awkward. Like, I feel like Samantha, first of all, Samantha is an overthinker, which is something that I can totally relate to. She overthinks every little thing, and she is so awkward and so desperately trying to fit in with these girls. And I have been there, and I feel like that experience is something that a lot of people have had when you met a new group of people and you thought they were cool, and suddenly they're talking to you, and now you're scared of saying the wrong thing. You don't know how to behave because, you know, it's not you. You almost have to change yourself a little bit because you think otherwise they will not accept you. And it's kind of that awkwardness, that feeling, and I feel we all felt that through school, high school, university, even in adult life it can happen to you. So it's something very relatable, and we are a lot inside of Samantha's head and how she analyzes everything, and I really like to, you know, listen almost to her thought process. And Samantha almost feels guilty that now she's kind of starting to hang out with these girls because, of course, she has her bestie Ava and she doesn't want her to feel like she has abandoned her. There is another character that has shown up that is a recovering addict who also knows Samantha, but Samantha doesn't seem to be, you know, interested in talking to him. And then there's a conversation about a teacher that it's kind of almost insinuated that Samantha and the teacher might have had something might have happened between them, and now they don't talk to each other. So I don't know if there was something, you know, going on sexually or not. It has not been revealed yet, but do check the trigger warnings for this book because there was also a little snippet of the book where Samantha was talking about some suicidal thoughts, so just check the trigger warnings. And also, after Samantha went to that party, now all of a sudden she feels like all the bunnies that live around campus in the bushes, like real flesh and bone bunnies, the animal, She feels like they're following her, that they're staring at her. And I feel like the author is introducing this metaphor between bunnies, the animals, and bunnies, these clique of girls from this university. And I'm really interested to see where this is gonna go, because I don't know how bizarre or how weird this book is gonna get. And I feel like the author is planting a lot of things that might be a foreshadow for something that has to come up later. I really enjoy the writing style. It's very descriptive. It's really making me feel like I'm there with Samantha. The building and everything, all the academic things. It is feeling a little bit dark academia in a way. But I am enjoying it because I feel like I can connect so much to Samantha in different ways. Not in all ways, but I feel like I do have a connection with her. So me having that connection with Samantha, I think helps me to really enjoy the reading experience. And so far I'm enjoying it. So I'm gonna keep reading, you guys, and I'll let you know when I have read another big chunk and let you know if I'm still enjoying it. It's the day after and I have almost made it halfway through Bunny. I'm currently on page 170, so I bring you an update. So Samantha tells us more about her childhood, and we learned that when she was younger, she had all of this imagination and she was able to write so much, and now all of a sudden she kind of has writer's block. There's been a lot of cool things that have happened. There has been a reference to Carrie, and you have that kind of idea of losing yourself in order to please others, but also not knowing who to trust, because you never know when someone, you know, might seem like they're being nice, but actually they're just taking advantage of you. So Samantha is kind of thinking, you know, why are these girls being nice to me all of a sudden? It is really because they want to be nice and they want to include me in the group because we are in class together, or do they have a secret agenda? It's also kind of, you know, commenting on the fact that sometimes we answer to questions saying something that is acceptable, you know, when it comes to society standards, and we don't always say what we think. We say what we think we're supposed to say, and I really like that. So I like a lot of the more like psychological in-depth aspects of the book, and we're getting to the more body horror parts, and it does have some kind of like Cronenberg vibes. I would almost describe this as Mean Girls meets horror in a way. And so far I'm enjoying it, and I'm a little bit surprised that I'm enjoying it so much because it is not, you know, the type of book that I would normally pick for myself. The writing style is also very different from what I normally read. So I'm really glad that it's actually working for me. There are some scenes that feature kind of sex with blood, and they're sort of like hallucinations, or are they really hallucinations, or are there things that are real that are happening? So I guess that's where I'm getting the Cronenberg vibe from. And Samantha has now been officially invited to participate in the workshop, which is something that the Bunnies do, and I am so intrigued about that. I'm not going to tell you exactly what they do at this workshop or anything because I don't want to spoil, you know, the bigger plot points of the book or anything like that, but I'm really intrigued to see where this is going to lead us. And if you've read the book, you probably know why. And yeah, those parts are really cool. But they also make me question a lot about what's going on inside of our main character's head. So it's quite intriguing so far. We also have Samantha's best friend, or former best friend maybe at this point, Ava, that is telling Samantha to be careful because she has noticed a change in Samantha since she started to hang out more and more with the bunnies, and Ava is worried about it and tells Samantha to be careful because these bunnies from the outside, you know, it looks like they could even potentially be a cult. We don't really know exactly what the bunnies are at this stage, so it's all speculation, but I'm really intrigued. I'm gonna keep reading the book and I will let you know as soon as I have another update, but I have to say I'm quite surprised that I am having such a good time with this book because it's something that I normally do not read, and it reminds me of sometimes, you know, those horror movies that I know I would like to watch, but I keep putting them off and putting them off because I know they're gonna require all my attention, and I know they're very different and out of the box from your typical, you know, horror movie that I watch to unwind and just for comfort and, you know, the easy horror watches. So I would compare this to the book. Like those horror movies, you know, they're a little bit more complex, like, you know, the Cronenberg movies and all of that, and they're gonna require a lot more of my mental participation in the movie. It's not like I'm just gonna watch a slasher. So I think this is what I'm getting with the book, and I'm really glad that I am now, you know, taking the time to read it and enjoy it. It's time to take a break from Bunny, and now that I am halfway through the book, I thought it would be fun to start with the first Bunnicula book. The name is so funny. So I'm gonna be starting with the first one in the series. It's called Bunnicula, a rabbit tale of mystery, and it says, today vegetables, tomorrow the world. Apparently there is a new pet in this place, and it is a very suspicious bunny, so the other pets there in this land need to check out what's going on with this new bunny, which I'm guessing it's this little cutie here on the cover. I'm hoping to get through it fairly quickly because it only has 98 pages. The font is big, and there is also like a lot of illustrations like this in the middle, and so I think I should be able to read this one fairly quickly as a little kind of like palette cleanser from Bunny, which is a lot more intricate when it comes to the plot and the writing. So this is going to be like a little break from my brain. And let's see if I enjoy it. talk about Bunnicula. So this book was originally published in 1979, and the author decided after the success of this book to keep writing children's books. And there's a lot of books in this series and some spin-offs and everything. I don't have all the books. I've only selected 3 that I thought looked fun. I don't think it's such a big deal not to read them exactly in publication order, but I did want to start with the first one because this is where Bunnicula gets introduced. So basically the story is told from Harold's perspective. He's a dog, and in the same house there's also a cat called Chester, which I thought was a lot of fun. And one day the family comes back from the cinema and they have this little bunny with them that they found at the cinema. And because they found it at the cinema while they were watching Dracula, they decided to call it Bunnicula, combination of bunny and Dracula. And Chester the cat is completely obsessed with the bunny because he thinks that this bunny is a vampire and he's ready to prove it. Honestly, let me tell you, I had perhaps too much fun with this book, a lot more than I anticipated. It is for ages 8 to 12, and honestly, if you guys have kids or you know people with kids, this book is so much fun. I can assume that the rest of the series is also gonna be fun. The humor here really worked for me even though I'm an adult, which tells you already that is a really good pick. So yeah, I didn't expect to actually enjoy it as much as I did, to be honest. So now I'm kind of like, should I just get the whole series at this point, because I'm invested now in Harold the big dog, Chester the cat, who is more like snarky and more like mischievous, and then Harold is more like the good boy, so you have those stereotypes of cats and dogs. And it was a lot of fun, you guys. It was so much fun. So I'm really excited that I picked it up. Honestly, I didn't know what to expect. I was a little bit scared of picking up these books for Easter and then not really enjoying them, because obviously I'm not a kid, I'm not a child. I mean, not officially. And so I'm not the target audience, obviously. But this one has been so much fun that I am glad right now that I decided to pick them. And I hope the other 2 that I have from the series are as much fun as book 1. I'm here to talk to you about book 2, Bunnicula Strikes Again. And I'm here to let you know that I enjoyed this one even more than I enjoyed the first one. So let me tell you why. This book is also told from the perspective of the animals, and I feel like because the first book established the family, the animals, and everybody that is like a main character here, I was already familiar with them and I was just excited to see in which adventure they were going to go next. I also don't think I read a lot from perspective of animals in the type of books that I normally read, so it is quite refreshing to hear the story from the perspective of the dog and the cat. In the first book we got to meet Bunnicula and we learned how he became a member of the family, and we started to learn where he came from, if he's a vampire or not, and Chester's suspicions were correct or not. And in book 2, basically they go into an adventure and we get out of the house, which I really appreciated. We go back to the cinema where Bunnicula came from, and we kind of dig a little bit deeper into the possible past from Bunnicula, and still trying to see if he's a vampire or not, and if he has family around or not. And I really enjoyed it. I'm having so much fun, so I'm just gonna sit down now and read book 3. I mean, I say book 3 from the ones that I own. I don't think it's book 3 in this series. We're going to start Bunnicula meets Edgar Allan Poe, which is the last one that I own, and it is this cute cover. We have Bunnicula here and we have the crow, and I read this one so fast, in part because it's fast-paced, it's easy, but also because it has really good pictures. So I'm gonna sit down and read this one and let you guys know what I thought. And I'm also almost done with Bunny. I have like around 100 pages left, so I'm going to sit down to finish both of these so I can give you my wrap-up for this Easter vlog. So I've officially finished Bunny, or maybe the book has finished me. I'm gonna need a minute to process this book. I'm gonna need a minute. So I've been chilling here on my reading chair for the past couple of hours because I wanted to finish the books for these reading vlog, and I've managed to finish the last two that I had, and I guess it's time for my thoughts. It's time for my thoughts. Let's start with the easy one, shall we? Bunnicula meets Edgar Allan Poe. So I have checked, and this is book 7 in the series, and I think it's the last one from the series that follows these characters, and then there's like spin-offs. But I think this is the last one that is told from the dog's perspective, and I think, you know, this one I loved a little bit less than the other one, than Bunnicula Strikes Again. I still enjoyed it, but I feel like the cover was misleading because I thought there was going to be a lot of interaction between Bunnicula and the crow, but it wasn't really. So I was a little bit let down by that, but that was just like my own expectations. So Pete's favorite writer is coming to town and he's really excited. The one that is not really excited is Chester the cat, obviously. And the writer, you know, the way that it looks and it dresses, you know, in black, and the way that he's pale and all of that, of course it reminds you of Edgar Allan Poe, and he comes attached with this crow. Here is a picture of how this writer looks like. Pretty nice. And I mean, I really enjoyed it, but I would say this has been my least favorite. It is a little bit more about this writer and less focus, I guess, on the mischievous adventures of the animals. But I would still recommend you guys to check out these books. I think they're fast-paced, they're fun, and I mean, it's not like the animals are not in this book at all. They're a big part of it. But I guess I was expecting a little bit more based on this cover, and I didn't get these. But honestly, I feel like I want to get the other books in the series and have the series completed because I really enjoyed to read it. And maybe when you're in a reading slump or you need something quick to kind of make you feel good and like a cozy read, these are great, and they are like little mysteries on their own. So yeah, I would say do start with Bunnicula, the first book, if you want to read the series, because it is the introduction of the bunny to the family. But after that, I don't think that you need to follow them in any particular order, because even though this is the last one, number 7, and I jumped from 2 to 7, I did not feel like I was missing out. And now, you guys, now let's talk about Bunny, shall we, by Mona Awad. I don't even know how to describe this book to you guys. Like, I think it is not uncommon to finish this book and go back and think, what the hell did I just read? What kind of journey was I on? And all the time I was thinking of movies like Infinity Pool that are like a mindfuck. They're kind of like movies where you go into it not knowing where you're gonna end. And the movies get weirder and weirder. Like I said, this book for me really gave me Cronenberg vibes. And I guess that's the best way that I can describe this to you. Of course, if you've never seen a Cronenberg movie, you might not know what I'm talking about. But it is bizarre in a way that it's almost impossible to describe as a reader. I feel like a lot of people that have loved this book, it's because of the atmosphere and the characters, but the plot, it's very trippy. And it is really hard to have like a very clear vision of all the events and timeline and how everything happened. It is very much like almost an hallucination of a book. But it worked for me in a way because, like I said, I really liked our main character. I could connect with her in a lot of things. It starts to get weirder and weirder once you're getting to the end, and the end is like, okay, I'm accepting it. I'm accepting this. And I don't know, I think I need to process this book a little bit, and I would be curious to see what other people thought about it, especially people that have a common taste in books with me. I think that will be so interesting to see. So I'm gonna head out now and check reviews and see what other people thought of it. I don't know what rating I'm gonna give it, but I think at least it's probably gonna be a 4 because it worked for me. The writing style worked, even though it was very different from what I normally read. I love the characters, I love the atmosphere, I love the vibe that it had. Do I know exactly what the hell did I just read? Not really, not gonna lie, not really. But I'm leaving the book with a good feeling, confused.
I'm frightened and I don't know what to do. I'm confused and I want to go home.
But with a good feeling. So, yeah, it's really hard to describe this book. I don't even know how I would pitch this book to people. But I really enjoyed it, so I am glad that I ended up picking it up. So also thanks to the people that did recommend this book to me in my videos. I know it's been recommended to me for a long time, so I am glad that I finally got to it. And with these two, you guys, we have completed all the books that I had planned to read on these Easter reading vlog. I hope that you really enjoyed this video, and I hope that you have a great Easter if you do celebrate it with your family. I am gonna have a week off for Easter to spend some time with my parents, and I'm really excited about that because I normally don't really take time off from work and YouTube altogether, and I'm gonna do that for a week, so it is something that I normally don't do, so we will see how that goes, but at least I will give my brain a little bit of a break. So Morby and I would like to say goodbye. Hope you enjoyed the vlog. Let me know down below what you thought of Bunny if you read it by Mona Awad. I'm really interested to know your rating and what you thought of it. And we will see you guys as always in my next coffee time. Bye!